But
man, budgets.
speaking of every book to know everything and maybe not knowing anything at all, we're going to move on to the comics of the week. And of course, I ain't reading anything else apart from Hickman stuff in a minute. 'Cause I need to have all the brain power just focused on that. Not that it's enough, but it's a start. I'm behind the Avengers now, and I'm sad because I like Avengers.
I'm behind like Immortal Hulk because of this.
I'm way behind Immortal Hulk. Christ, I think issue 6 was the last one.
Jesus, damn you, Hickman.
And it wasn't even because like I wasn't enjoying it. It's just like
you needed more time reading the House of the X-Men stuff.
It's just like God, but a very sinister-y issue.
Yeah,
very sinister-y issue. A slight change for Mr. Sinister as well.
Yeah. Oh man, like where to begin on this?
Well, I suppose you could begin with Hickman bringing in something from Secret Wars again.
Yeah, like all this.
Sinister was definitely a thing in Secret Wars.
Yeah, that was a pretty crazy revelation, man, to see all of those Sinisters running around.
Mm. And each one's very uniquely different.
Yeah, the first one we met was pretty interesting.
That was the Guard, wasn't it?
I forgot. What's that?
Wasn't it the Guard, the first one you meet?
The Guard, yeah.
He takes the helmet off. It's like, oh, cool. Mr. Sinister's guarding Mr. Sinister. Oh.
Sinisters everywhere.
Very the biggest like interesting point for me for this anyway is the Sinister Secrets.
Yeah.
Because I think it's number 10. I'm pretty certain it's number 10. So I'm just gonna double check that.
And like you know what the thing is, like you're like they went in there thinking they could deal with a guy named Mr. Sinister. He's pretty on the nose, man. Like the guy's not Mr. Okay guy or Mr. Good guy. You know, he's Mr. Sinister.
But then again, for a guy called Mr. Sinister, he's very flamboyant. He's very the opposite of Sinister.
Mr. Flamboyant.
It's just like, I like that cape. Why don't I have a cape? It's like, oh, I have a cape. Like, yeah.
Well, the cape is like I think a pretty iconic thing for that character.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I don't know if I could. It's hard to see the character without that cape.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's Sinister Secret number 10. Which brainwashed mutant Sinister was replaced long before a certain bald somebody knew and has been in on the game for almost as long as the game has been played. Shh. So, to me, that says Sinister's known about Moira before Moira knew about Moira.
I mean, it pretty much tells you he was pulling the strings behind the scenes from the get-go, you know, like, again, Mr. Sinister. Like,
so it's like, was Mr. Sinister the reason why Moira has these lives?
I mean, it could be. I mean, he likes to tamper with people, like the genetics, and he's very, like, was it me or did they, when Professor X and Magneto visited him, making that deal, did he implant the idea of him tampering with, like, focusing on mutants opposed to
I don't know. You could probably take it that way, because he does do the whole like, oh, you'll like, you know, they make the deal and it's like, yeah, you just like forget until I come for you. Like, so he very well could have kept Sinister in that wheelhouse. It's a very Charles thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, because at that point he was just collecting he was collecting everybody's, like, you know, like everybody.
Yeah, it was just like general people, and then all of a sudden he just changes to mutants. Which it would make sense, because it's like, right, we want you to focus on us, so we then have that database for ourselves. Which
kind of like again. Why would you put someone, like, I understand he's a geneticist, but like you're putting a guy that, like, his name is Mr. Sinister, and you're putting him in charge of like the mutant, you know, like the mutant future, basically.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, he's Charles. He's not the brightest bulb.
Yeah, man. That
to me, but he's not the brightest bulb.
Yeah, you know that Sinister he's playing his own game.
Oh yeah, he's doing something. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, like that whole like city of like Sinister thing, like it just he was like it just felt like a whole country of like Mr. Sinisters, which was like really cool.
I'd watch a Disney Plus show of it. Just gonna be honest.
Who wouldn't?
It would have to be a limited series because it would get old real quick. But
Yeah,
I'd still watch it and I still love it. But no, it's just like
I mean, to me, there wasn't really a lot. I mean, there was a lot to pull the plot forward, but there was like, it kind of felt, like
there was a lot of fleshing out because obviously you had
yeah,
the Sinister stuff, and then the whole back half is like,
yeah,
hey, here's where Krakoa kind of like came from. Here's the history of Krakoa. Like,
yeah,
we got like Douglock in there with Cypher.
yeah,
It's like he spends a year talking to the scene because Charles can't really understand it. It's just like very caveman Neanderthal speak. And then you get the Hickman's doing a lot of stuff with the First Horseman for Apocalypse.
yeah.
And they're a group that we've never really known anything about.
I'm sure he's gonna pull some Hickman type things.
Oh yeah, because I think the only times you've ever, I think the Hoxpox is the first time we've ever really seen the First Horseman. I believe in his Shield run, he touched on the idea of the First Horseman, but now's the first time we've even like got a silhouette of them and like kind of an idea of what they look like. So I imagine that that's going to come into play at some point because he seems to be focusing on a lot on Apocalypse as well.
Yeah,
but we know now that Krakoa was, in theory, or he's now two islands. That he was part of a larger one. That when demons came in, which I believe is a soul sword, it looks like the old original design for Magic's sword, but it's not that one because that one's hers.
Yeah.
It's from part of her soul. So obviously there's something going on there. Like maybe like Limbo's going to play a big part soon, which would be pretty cool.
I mean, that's the thing that they haven't touched on in a long time. I mean, like it'd be interesting to see how they would integrate that into the current story.
Also, Charles looking very Cassandra Nova.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
His little hat is just like,
That hat looks so weird. I never ever could get used to the look of that. It looks kind of like even when like Cassandra was wearing it, I'm like, that just looks so weird, man. Like it looks like a cart.
It's definitely
like
a weird look.
It reminds me of like a Willy Wonka type hat,
Yeah, I can see that. But it's just interesting that like, why is he wearing that?
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I don't believe Hickman would have that in there for no reason.
Do you think that he's gonna pull back in Cassandra? Like,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Because that character is pretty steeped in the X-Men, and like, I mean, I'm not a personal fan of the character, but like if he does pull her into it, I wouldn't mind seeing what he could do with it, because essentially she's basically Professor X, I mean, that for all we know, that's who's behind the mask.
Yeah. I mean, that was one. Like, there was a theory about that from the first issue. And people were saying like it's a very Cassandra Nova look with like the bodysuit and everything, but it's just like,
yeah. I mean, she's obviously a woman too, and like I can't remember if she had definition as a woman.
I don't think she does. I think she's very because she's not a twin of Charles, but she looks very much like Charles.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think.
Yeah.
She's a proper like little old.
Yeah.
Like a frail looking person, so you could probably pull it off as one or the other, but I'm not sure. The thing is, she's not even like a real person. Wasn't she born on the Ascendant Plane or something like that?
Yeah.
Just some weird like parasitic being.
Yeah, and like in kind of looking at like the older like pictures of like the Charles or whoever it is behind the X mask, it kind of looks like a guy. I don't know. It kind of looks like a guy to me.
I mean, they could go either way with it, I imagine. No.
Yeah, because I guess if you look, looking at different interpretations of that character right now, and they different in like House of X and Powers of X, they look kind of different. The power's a 10. I'm sorry. I do apologize. But yeah, oh man, like it this issue like answered a little questions for me, but it's I start asking more questions, man.
It's typical Hickman. You
Yeah.
think you get the nugget you want, but then you want more nuggets because you don't know what that nugget contains.
Like I kind of do feel like the pod people. I feel like Sinister is kind of involved for me. I think he's involved.
Yeah. He's got to be. He's got to do something with Krakoa.
Yeah.
There's no reason why Hickman would make Sinister a mutant.
Yeah.
Or a Mr. Sinister a mutant. And then like just not have him go to Krakoa with these pod people because it's kind of like it's what he's there for, surely, like the whole breeding and everything.
Yeah. And he's in one of the new X titles that are coming out, right? He's in Excalibur, I think, right? Or am I?
He's in one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been on the cover of one, I believe.
I'm for sure. I'm pretty certain it's going to be the one that has all the Summers, family in there.
I mean, it makes sense because Sinister and Summers,
like Apple and yeah, like he's got an unhealthy relationship with that lineage,
So it's like a house on fire.
Yeah, I mean, I'm oh man, like I definitely dug what they did in this issue, but it just like when I got done reading the issue, I was like, do I have to read this again, man? Because like,
that's the worst part. I haven't had time to read it again. It's like there's the entire back bit with the whole like the phalanx and the ascendants.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, they're not doing anything what I thought they were doing. Like, they trying to kill the phalanx now? Like, is that what they're going for? Because that's what it seems like. But...
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like Hickman definitely does like that good thing about swerving people, man. Like,
oh yeah, definitely
defying expectations. I don't know, man. I'm definitely interested in seeing how this series ends to see where they pick up, how they pick up the next series in.
Well, the good news is House of X #5, which is going to be this week, with the list at the end is a red issue, and every red issue. Well, I say every red issue. We've only had one, but the last time we had a red issue, it was the big Moira reveal.
Yeah. So yeah.
So are we gonna get? Hopefully, we get something with the phalanx because the powers. Is it? No, it's House of X, isn't it? Yeah.
What?
I mean, hopefully, we get something like with the phalanx because that's the one bit he hasn't really touched on.
Yeah.
We've seen a fair chunk of it, so
I'm pretty sure that he's gonna like how many what's the time frame between the ending of the series and the beginning of those proper series?
Well, we got a month left, and then I believe it starts straight away.
Oh, okay, so they're definitely. I think they're definitely going to touch. They have to touch on the.
They have to touch on something, yeah.
They have to like leave this series in like kind of a cliffhanger-y type way,
I say it's either going to be next week or it's going to be the last issue because the two red issues on the list are this week and the last one, which is House of X. No, Powers of 10, #6. So,
is it me or did this series fly by?
Oh, it's gone. It's nuts. Like it's a 12-week series and we're over halfway. It's just like how? I don't get it. But hey, here we are.
I mean that's good though for me because like I can go back and because I kind of want to read it all at one time. Just
reading it all at once is going to change how you look at everything.
Yeah, because every time like in between you're kind of like thinking and you're not really like paying attention, and I just want to just like go from 1 to 5 and just a day and just read it all and then get all try to like figure out at least where this is heading because I still kind of don't have an idea.
Oh, you'll never know that until like 5 years time.
Like I'm on my deathbed and like it's finally revealed. It's like
at least you lived long enough to find out.
I promise you, man. I will fight to live. So I can
You're gonna Kevin Smith it. It's like this heart attack's not taking me. I will watch Endgame.
Widowmaker, no way, no. That cannot. The only thing that's gonna take, I'm gonna die the minute that is revealed. I shouldn't say that because like, what if it revealed and like it's explained in the next couple months and I die and I'm like, kind of screwed myself.
I'll have a memorial show. And...
he was a great guy, you know.
You didn't find out, but I did. So.
We'll read it at your, your funeral service, and that
it's
way
just your eulogy, like just the first issue.
Just read it all out.
People sitting there like, what the hell is going on?
Who is this guy again?
What's the Scott Summers?
Like, who? Like, but yeah, I'm definitely, man, like this is like probably the first time in a series where I'm just sitting there going, I have no idea.
Yep. Well, it's the first time for me since Avengers, and that was the first time since Fantastic Four, because it's what Hickman do.
Yeah, it confuses people.
Yeah. So this will all make sense at some point. Trust me.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I like these series though. Like, I like the type of series. Like, it's just like it makes it worth going back and reading and discussing. Like, that's what I love about Hickman is like I can just you could comb over every series that he's done and just go and find new things about each time you read it. And
yep.
Like
my only fear is you're gonna have to do that with more books once this finishes. Because it's not slowing down; it's gonna pick up. So
I'm okay with that. I mean, like this is probably the first time, like because I know that like this series means something.
Yeah.
It makes it worth it. Like if you were to do that with any other series, and I'd probably be like, I'll pick up the main title and I'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
But like with this series, I'm pretty invested in it, and it's pretty nice to know that because it's been a long time since I've been invested in the X-Men title.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it's a welcome. I mean, I'm okay fitting this into my budget and buying, like issue by issue. Like this is definitely worth it. It's an endorsement.
I'm just worried about the time constraint because
that's true.
You're gonna have to put a lot of time. Is this why people only read X-Men? Like, I get it now.
But to me, that's good though, man. Like I would rather him take his time, do whatever he needs to do, and not rush anything, because if I'm gonna invest my time, I want to make sure it's worth it. And I feel like up to this point, it's been pretty worth it. And like,
just for these like 6 issues alone, it's been he's done everything he would ever need to do in these small handful of issues.
Yeah,
some people wouldn't be able to do this in like 100 issues. So
exactly. Like he's a I don't know, man. He's just like one of those writers I can tolerate the long, long form, storytelling, because I know. I mean, 90% of the time, it's paid off in the long run, and like this again, like it's been a long time since I cared about these characters. So like, I'm even caring about the whole thing with Wolverine. I hate that character, but like he's like that last issue made me really interested in the character again, because like it made him more human.
It was so sad.
Yeah,
it's
like you don't see that in a lot of Wolverine titles. You just see like, I'm gonna go kill this person, and I'm nothing's ever gonna happen to me. Like, but like he's made me care about the character a little bit. To the point where I'm like, I almost choked up, man. Like at that point, man, because that was a pretty human response,
Oh yeah, definitely. Like it's how to humanize a character like Wolverine in a panel.
Yeah. It's nuts. I like a little midget now.
But despite the fact that they're gonna come back. Like, there's no way they're all. There's no way, but that just shows you how well it was done.
Yeah, I mean, like. To me, some people like that I've talked to said there's like zero stakes in it because they're pod people. But it's like, we don't even know if those people, those characters could have been the original characters that died, or they couldn't, and like we won't know that. And I think to me that's what makes the stakes for me, is like I still think that maybe that's a possibility. Like I mean, like who knows? Like that could have been the original word. Archangel, like I don't know, but like I still think there's stakes in like those deaths.
Oh yeah, because it makes them dangerous. Like, if they don't care about dying because they know they're gonna get brought back, then yeah.
It's like, I mean, that's been the Wolverine character for the longest time, anyways, right?
It's true.
He has zero, like he doesn't care, like, but like in that one panel, in that like little word balloon, it made him like more human than any like 100 issues of any of his comics. You know,
It's the most human he's been for a long time.
yeah, yeah. He's the Batman of the Marvel universe, man. To me.
Oh, he really is. He really is.
But
we're gonna bring everything to a close because there's not much you can go off by now. Like,
yeah, you don't.
if I'd have read it again, I might have like caught something that we could have gone for like another hour on. But thank God I didn't, because I'm getting hungry. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining, and we'll catch you all next time. So bye.
Bye bye. That was a nice little.